Chapter 5, Mishnah 1. This Mishnah lists 15 tasks that were overseen by administrators in the temple, as well as the names of those administrators. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. These are the administrators who were in charge of various tasks in the temple. Yochanan ben Pinchas was responsible for providing the tokens that people would use to obtain Nesachim offerings. Achia was responsible for providing people who presented the tokens with the corresponding Nesachim offerings. Matisya ben Shmuel was responsible for the lotteries that determined which of the Kohanim would perform the various parts of the temple service. Pesachia was responsible for the chest in which people who needed to bring pairs of birds as offerings would place their money. Every day he would note how much money had been placed in the chest and then make sure that the corresponding number of birds were offered before the day was done. The Mishnah interjects with a comment about Pesachia's identity. Pesachia is actually Mordechai, who helped save the Jews during the time of Purim. Why then was he called by the name Pesachia, which comes from the Hebrew word Pesach, open, or Petach, open? Because he would open the words people spoke and explain them. That is, he could understand what people meant to say even if they did not say it clearly, and he also knew all 70 languages. The Mishnah now continues its list of temple administrators. Ben Achia was responsible for treating Kohanim who suffered from intestinal problems. Nechunya would dig ditches. That is, he was responsible for digging cisterns where water could collect, so that people who traveled to the temple for Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot would have water to drink. Gevini was the announcer, who, when it was time to begin the morning service, would announce, "Arise, Kohanim, to your service." Ben Gever was responsible for the locking of the temple courtyard gates in the evening and for unlocking them in the morning. Ben Bevai was responsible for the whip. That is, he would walk through the temple each night to make sure that none of the guards had fallen asleep and use his whip to wake up anyone who had. Ben Arza was responsible for sounding the cymbals, which indicated to the Leviim that they should begin playing their instruments. Hugras the Levi was responsible for directing the singing of the Leviim, indicating to them when the song should begin and end. The family of the house of Garmu was responsible for the production of the panim bread. The family of the house of Avtinas was responsible for the production of the incense. Elazar was responsible for the 13 curtains that hung at various entrances in the temple and would replace them when they wore out. And Pinchas was responsible for the clothing of the Kohanim, i.e., for dressing the Kohanim in their priestly garments.